y'all doing? Got 3 people. Y'all can smash that thumbs up. I jumped on just a couple minutes early, so it's, hope y'all are doing well. How's everything going? Go ahead and get a drink of this. Cheers, everyone. I know there's only 3 people on here, but got some bullet bourbon tonight. Whew. All right, it says it's 7, so we'll see if this kicks off. And sorry, I was in a hurry. I had to. I got an email saying, "Oh, your package has arrived. It's delivered." And I'm like, "Delivered?" And I went out and I was like, they had pictures, and I was like, "That's not my house. That's not my porch." So I looked it up, and they showed a picture of the deal, and the guy left out the first digit of my house number, and then instead of putting Mike Johnson, he put Big Johnson. So, and that number of home, the deal is not even in existence of our street. So yeah, they delivered it to the wrong house. But anyway, so I had to go track it down. So it's a pain in the ass. Yes, Ranger 10, happy 4th of July. That is coming up. So that is what, Friday? Yeah, so don't know if y'all have some big plans or not. But yeah, I figured we would get into it. Hopefully some more people jump on. Showing 9 in the house, 1 thumbs up. So let's get the crowd in here, and then I was just going to go over some stuff. But what I had to go pick up, I'll just go ahead and let out of the bag now. It's Vector, and I sent them my correct address, my correct name, and everything. They put Big Johnson on there and then put the wrong address. But I did get an Optic that was sent in, and this is their Frenzy Gen 2. So it's kind of like an acro, or it is an acro footprint. So it's an enclosed emitter. So they sent this in. They were supposed to send a plate. They sent a plate. Hopefully it's the right plate. And then they sent in a little mount in case I want to put it on a PDW, because I figured I would try that. So anyway, that's what I had to go track down. But love that they send stuff to the wrong place. Ranger said, picked up an FN Reflex XL yesterday. Put a put a hollow sun on it. Oh, that's cool. What do you think about it? I know a lot of people, or I know a few guys that have the Reflex XL and they like it. They like the XL way better than the other ones. So, or just put the dot on it so far. And also, I did get some grips I want to talk about. I just got them. I've left them in the bag. I haven't put them on or anything like that. What's up, Rabbi? How are you? Rabbi's been trying to reach me about my car's extended warranty and unpaid toll violations. Well, my tolls are paid, and I have extended warranties, but they're real extended warranties. Hope you're doing well, sir. Hope the golf game is doing good for you. It's always fun to get out there and experiment with different things. But anyway, so I had to go track down a dot that they delivered to a neighbor way down the street to an address that doesn't exist. So I'm just like, man, leave it to goofballs. And I guess it was from their shipping company. This one came straight from China, but who delivered it? It's some weird delivery service that I've never heard of. So I don't know if that's who delivers their imported stuff or who they use, but they obviously don't know how to read a freaking address. Or I guess they read it correctly. The guy who put it on the box didn't put the right one after I sent it to him twice. At it nearly every day now. Great place for making new friends too. Yep, it is. Yeah, it's from China. Yep. They've been reaching out to me for a long time, and I've looked at some of their dots and been like, eh. But when I saw this one, I was like, okay, acro footprint, enclosed optic. It says it's like a 3 MOA dot. But anyway, that's what it looks like. It's the Frenzy Gen 2. So we'll see how it works out. I'll throw it on a gun and start playing around with it. Got 10 people on, 3 thumbs up. Man, not very many people in this evening. I guess probably some people might be out of town and stuff for the 4th of July. And do y'all have big plans for the 4th of July? Yeah, golf is an expensive habit. Or can be, depending on, but a lot of the ranges are super expensive to play. The days of like the $20 range fee, that doesn't exist. But yeah, it's an expensive hobby. I mean, I would say, yeah, no, I would say by the time you buy your golf clubs, your golf bag, your driver, your wedges, all that stuff, that's a big investment. Depending on what you purchase, that's a big investment. And then after that, it's balls and range fees and tees. And if you take lessons and do stuff like that. But, it's, I would say depending on your gun habit, guns can be more expensive. Now, I'll tell you one better than that. Race cars blows them both out of the water as far as expenses. So, and I was in all 3 at one time. So I've kind of dropped 2. So now it's just guns. But I mean, I still, since I've been talking to Rabbi about golf, it's kind of got me the bug again. And I'm like, man, I told my wife the other night, I'm like, man, I really want to go play, I said couldn't do a real swing and push off. Not that I have any power anymore anyway, but, it would definitely be some ghetto-ass swing, and I don't want to integrate, really bad habits. But I definitely would love to play. I started out expensive, bought a $500 beginner set to see if I like it still, then immediately dropped $1,300 on new everything, actually more like $1,600, yeah. I mean, hell, my clubs and stuff, yeah. I mean, if you've got sponsorship or anybody like that helping you out, that's great. But, that stuff can be super, super expensive, especially when you get into the forge sets and things like that, and the putters and the drivers. Yeah, I mean, it's you can drop a lot of cash on that stuff pretty quickly. But like I said, it's not like you're, changing those all the time. They tend to last you for a long time, just like a gun, but you can't just have one gun. So, and with wedges, you'll play around, you'll get different wedges, you'll get different putters. What's up, Trigger Bar? How are you, man? Boomer 47, have you seen the new P10C? Yes, the ported. Yeah, I had it written down. I was going to talk about it. I was waiting for some more people to jump in. Looks like we've got 18. We'll just go ahead and jump into it. Yes, I've been asked a lot about the CZ P10C ported or comped, whatever. It's really like a chunk port. But yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool. I think it's going to give people. Now, did they change a whole lot? No. They added more serrations on the top, which is cool, across the very, very top. They added a thicker barrel, and they comped it, which is cool, and changed the sights a little bit different. The same trigger, same grip, same all of that. So, and it would be cool if they would just sell the uppers so you could just slap it on your original lowers. But I don't know if they're going to do that. Probably not, because they want to move a gun. But I've got a lot of friends who are kind of excited about it. Not a lot, I would say 2. Well, no, well, 2.5 that are really excited about it. I went to a gun store to see if they had it in yet, and they hadn't received it yet. Hello, Neffel. How are you? I had an explosion, not service-related VA. Ooh. Let's see. Did any companies release anything at GunCon? I don't know. I personally didn't. Ooh. Ranger says, I'm too broke down to golf, back, right hip, leg. I doubt I could walk one hole. Wow. I mean, there's a lot of people. Well, you can get a flag. It's called a flag related, and you put a flag on your golf cart, and you can ride right up to the green and then just walk out, go putt. So you can literally ride everywhere, unless it's cart paths only. You can literally, it's like a handicap situation. You can literally ride to every hole and even up on the close to the green. So let's see here. Hello, Lynn Holt. How are you? Hope you're doing well. A Barnes says, smash that thumbs up, everyone. Yeah, we got 17 on and only 7 thumbs up. So, but yes, I think the P10 is going to do well. I think people are going to buy it. The cool thing, they didn't change mag compatibility, which I was really hoping they wouldn't. So you've still got that. And since they did it in the C, I'm sure they're going to do it on the F. So, and I'm sure they're going to do it on the P09 Nocturne. Sure, that's coming. So, you know, I think they're going to, and they'll probably come out with a CZ Shadow comp, I would think. I don't know if it'll be the full size or like the, you know, the compact version. But I'm sure they're going to, you know, milk this one too. I wish they would come out with kind of a, not a brand, it doesn't have to be brand new or totally re-engineered, but I thought it'd be cool if they came out with an alloy P10C. That's kind of what I was hoping for, just something kind of different. Not that it's a must, but I was kind of hoping that that would happen with some better, you know, with some better serrations, which they already did, and a comp, which they did. I was just kind of hoping something different with the frame. But, you know, that's good that it's going to be compatible for all the holsters that people already have. So, I mean, that is one good thing about it. But is under that 529 or something, so that's not bad. Trigger Bar says, I was disappointed in the TFB TV that when asked about testing it, caught CZ off guard. Yeah, I figured they would have said, oh yeah, you know, it reduces 25% of recoil and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, you can compare an original P10 to that one, and I thought they would have done that. But I guess they probably don't have the ransom rest set up. You know, I could see some companies not having something like that. But, you know, if you check it in slow-mo, and Eric Graffel, you know, when he was asked, James asked him if he hadn't even shot it yet. So I figured he would have shot it, you know, being the competitive shooter for CZ, that he would have shot it and could, you know, could say something about it, saying, oh yes, you know, I definitely feel it or whatever. So, and I really haven't watched any reviews on it other than the TFB one when they were talking about it. Lynn Holt says, I guess everyone needs a comp now. In my day, we learned to shoot the gun. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I love shooting guns. But if I could get a comp or a port that would take a little bit off, just, you know, if you're going for speed and accuracy. Hello. Hello. Been a long day. Yeah, I hear you. I bet it has been. And again, if y'all just joined, I got the Vector Optic. It's kind of like their little acro version. So they've been beating me up, wanting me to test it. Or wanting me to test something from their line, because I don't think I've ever done a Vector Optic, but they've reached out a lot over the years, and you know, their stuff just seemed kind of not, I don't want to say bad, it just, I didn't have a lot of interest in it. But when I saw this one, I was like, okay, and I guess it's something new, but they already have a Gen, this one's a Gen 2, so I don't know. Short act and hearing act protection, yeah, I knew. Dude, I know, and I've got buddies, you know, like Donnie, and everybody was reaching out, oh man, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I said, do not count your chickens till they hatch, because there's, you know, you're leaving it up to a bunch of idiots. So, hello, Mateo, how are you? Yeah, I hope you're doing well, sir. You're having a lag? I've got full everything. That's weird. Huh. Well, I'm sorry about that. It shows I got perfect internet and all that, so I don't know what's going on. Wonder if it's something in YouTube. We can't have fun things. Well, you know, like I said, you could do what you wanted to do. It's if you want to, you know, if you want to do it. So we've talked about that before. So I guess everybody's lagging, or I'm lagging to everybody. That's weird. Hopefully they'll clear this up. Like I said, I'm sitting here looking at it. I don't know what's going on. It's YouTube throttling, yeah. It does not surprise me. Hello, Gary, how are you? It's not surprising. I mean, they drop subscribers from me all the time, and unsubscribe people and stuff. So, I mean, I just do what I do. Bad Karma says no lagging here. Got to play the game, which is wrong. Yeah, I agree. It just paused every 30 seconds or so. Is it still doing that? Go sit in the corner. I'm lagging on my phone, but not on my YouTube TV app. Oh, dang. Who knows? I don't know. I'm sorry about that. I mean, I know that there is a little bit of a lag on YouTube. I've been told that it's like I don't know, it's like a 5 to a second something delay. I don't know. Prenix has been good for a few minutes. Hopefully it's fixed. I like the dark corner facing the door. All right. But like I said, I've got that. And there's some other things that I wanted to try. So I kind of went on a buying, and I bought these. I didn't get them for free. Whole bag of goodies. And this one is from Driven Arms. I don't know if y'all have heard of them. I hadn't heard of them, but I've been wanting to get some different grips for my ARs and my PDWs and things like that. So I just kind of went down this rabbit hole of Driven Arms. I don't want to rip them open yet, but anyway, that's a very unique, and you can check it out on their website. It's Driven Arms. But there is one, and this one is called the Beaver Tail Vertical Crossover Grip, and it's a large. And that's what they claim to fame. They claim that these are really big, like they have different sizes, and this is the biggest one supposedly that's made. So I figured with my hand situation, I would try it. I got one of their hand stops. And I got these in colors. You're not gonna see I got another hand stop. So these are in different colors. And then they've got a new grip that is called the Longtail Shadow Crossover Grip. And I got the most aggressive that they make, and it's called the let's see here, Sawtooth. So this is the most aggressive that they make, but that's the Sawtooth. So it's supposed to be really, really freaking grippy. Some people have complained that it hurts their hands, but I'm not worried about that. And then I got another one of those, and these are in the large also, but they're supposed to be really big, like around. They've got palm swells, and supposedly the Shadow version is like the CZ Shadow 2, kind of, with palm swells on it. And I was like, ooh, that's cool. So I got 2 hand stops and 3 grips. I'm gonna try their hand stops, see what I think about them. They've got a lifetime warranty on them. They look very well made. And I'll do a review on it, or put it this way, do y'all want to see a review on it like this compared to like a K2 or something like that? Let me know if y'all are interested in seeing like a tabletop of them up close and then on the gun. Damn, it's lagging again. Hello, Norwood, how are you? Yeah, I really like aggressive stuff. Gunny. All right, so Mateo says yes, he's down to see it. I just figured I'd do up close, because that's one thing. Even the K2 and some other grips that I have, they're just not big enough around. I mean, not that I can't use them. I would just prefer, a little more girthy. That's what she said. I had to say it before y'all said it. Hello, Major Havoc. How are you doing? I don't know what that means. T. Max Headroom will be proud. Is that what it's doing? Hello, Carter. Okay, you can launch T. Somebody can. She's never said that to me. But yeah, like I said, I do like the bigger grips, so we're gonna try this one out. And they're polymer; they're not rubber or anything like that. But the only thing I'm concerned about is it's just a kind of concern and kind of a thought. It's super, super aggressive. Supposedly, it's like really aggressive, like DNA taker. And when you put your rifle down and you like wear it on your chest rig or your shirt or whatever, I'm wondering if it's going to get caught when I go to pull it up, if it's going to drag or try to rip, or catch on my shirt or catch on, the plates. Or not that I run plates all the time, but I own them. But I'm just wondering if it's going to do that. So, Bad Karma says best CZ double action single action minimum 4-inch barrel for carry. Looking for my daughter. Your opinion, sir? I would say PO7 or a PO7, and now I know it's the new Nocturne PO9C. I personally don't have any experience with the Nocturne, but I've got plenty of experience with the PO9s, PO7s. I own 2 PO9s, 2 PO7s. I really like them. It's also got a heavy enough double action for a newer shooter where they can get some good trigger time and learn the discipline of a double action and single action. So I do recommend that quite a bit. Other double action, single actions, you're looking at HK, stuff like that. For the money and for a new shooter, I would recommend the PO7 because it has a wider slide than the PO1 or the PCR or the Shadow 2 carry. It's wider. So, learning to rack it, getting, being familiar with it, that's better for a newer shooter, I believe. So that's what I would recommend. I mean, they're great guns. I love them. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. The texture could grab on the clothing. So that's kind of what I'm going to do, sling the rifle, just kind of drag it on my shirt, see what it does, see how it reacts. But the good thing, if you get super, super aggressive, you can take some sandpaper if you choose to. Sandpaper, knock off the pointy parts, like, because the sawtooth, supposedly, it's got like little shark fins. So you can knock off the sharp points, and then it would still be grippy when you compress it. So that's kind of what I want to check on it. And I'll probably put my, I got a little cheater ring, like when I'm working on stuff real small. I've got cheater glasses, but this is like a little microscope type ring where I can really look at fine tooth stuff and like little gears and stuff like that. So I'll see, if there's any issues. Yeah, GL22, he's saying let your daughter pick out the gun. You shouldn't pick it out for her. She has to feel it in her own hands. I would agree with that. But sometimes for a newer shooter, it can be confusing. I went through this with my daughter, my own personal daughter. So I let her, put her hands on everything. And then I was like, okay, here's 8. Here's your top 4. Here's your top 2. Here's your top 1. I let her do all that to see what she liked. And at the end of it, she was like, well, I want to feel that one again. I want to feel this one again. I want to feel that one again. And the thing about CZ is they are pretty ergonomic in the hand versus a Glock or, something like that, more like a 2x4. So, and my daughter shot my PO7. Heck, she was shooting that thing when she was like 13, and she really liked it. So, and it was a heavy double action trigger. And I was like, really grip it good so it doesn't wiggle your front sight. So she has learned on a double action, single action as well. Single action is her favorite, like a 2011, 1911. She flips the safety off and then goes to town. The double action is kind of aggressive, but even my broke-in ones, mine are a lot less than what a standard one is due to the break-in. And when you feel it in the store, it's going to feel kind of gritty and kind of weird. And you're going to be like, man, this trigger sucks. As you shoot it, you get about probably 250 to 300 rounds, it definitely smooths out. So don't be scared about, cranking on it in the store because it's not perfect. Mateo's saying use the sandpaper. But I definitely like really aggressive grips personally. On all my lock grips, I like them super aggressive. I've even had them make a set even more aggressive than their standard They made them sharper for me. I've got like 3 or 4 pair that I run. They don't sell them to just regular people. I just had them make them a little more aggressive because they're like, Lock Grips guys. I'm not going to say their names 'cause I don't know if they want me to, but they were like, man, nobody will buy these. They're too damn aggressive. And I was like, that's what I want. So they cut some for me that were pretty damn aggressive, but I like them. But in even carrying them, I carry super aggressive grips and it doesn't bother me because if you have a good gun belt and a good holster, your holster's not sitting there chafing the crap out of your stomach. It shouldn't be. And I know you're going to get some, if you bend over and do some things like that. But, my tactical muffin should not be baked by the time I'm done. Got to be someone, what a braggart? I don't know what that means. Just wrap the grip in barbed wire. No, I don't want to do that. Yeah, and I've got one gun that has that silica carbide, or that's what it was supposed to be. And man, that stuff really, it didn't do very well. It started peeling off. Yeah, barbed wire. Those only go on baseball bats. The razor wire. Got to wrap your baseball bats with those. Or your arm. I have a cheesy tattoo. That was not one of my finer moments. But anyway, that's called Driven Arms. I mean, I think their stuff's kind of cool looking, and I mean, it's packaged really, really nicely. Again, I haven't opened them. You got to like tear the little package, and it's got like a Ziploc bag if you want to use it. I haven't ripped any of them open yet, but I'll be putting those on probably this weekend and kind of playing around with them, seeing what I think about it. But one of the grips is it's like no grip I've ever seen before. It's got this really weird angle, and then it's got a really straight drop on it. So we'll see how that works. But I've got particular guns that I'm going to be putting these on. One is an AR-15, one is a 300 Blackout, and then one is a 308 Shorty. So that's what they're all planned to go on. Oh, the 90s barbed wire arm tat. Yep, I've got it. I have it. Not proud of it. There it is. Not proud of it. So, yeah. Me and a couple of my buddies back in the day. It was cool in the 90s, just like you said. But I did have mine before Pamela Anderson. Butterfly tramp stamps, oh yeah. Hello, Danish, how are you? Hello, Armsman, how are you doing? Yeah, Armsman's excited about the P10 ported. We had talked about that. Matter of fact, I didn't know it was a factory CZ. He had sent me a picture from Modern Weapons. I guess they, or Modern Warriors or whatever. They had posted a picture that he had found or seen. And he sent it to me and said, have you seen this? And I said, man, I wonder, maybe somebody's doing that for them. I didn't know it was a factory CZ. I really didn't. And then, he's like, and we saw the videos and I'm like, oh crap, that's factory. Yeah, Armsman says, P10 ported, yeah. Oh boy, we can launch Danish. Yeah, I've actually thought about doing something with this one. I just don't know what I would do yet. And right now I can't do anything because of the blood thinners, but I am going to get it redone. I'm going to get my back redone too. So, I mean, not that anything's wrong with the back. I just want it done, redone. It has faded a lot over the years. I've had it for 100 years. And also, I was asked, like, have I seen anything new? Like we had talked about. I haven't seen a thing, and again, the Hearing Protection Act, the Short Act, stuff like that, man. I don't know. It's like, golly, the rhinos come out, don't they? Yeah, we'll give them a little bit, we won't give them the whole thing. We'll just give them the tip. We won't give them the whole salami, just the tip. Whatever. So I had little hopes for any of that. Yeah, I had buddies like, oh man, we're gonna win this. We got this. We got this. I said, don't count your chickens till they hatch. Please do not do that. Don't do that. Because they were all pumped up. Now they're all like, oh man, no, this will be a set. I told you. I told you, man. You're dealing with, well, anyway, I won't say the word, but I think y'all know where I'm going with that. The green weenie, yeah. I had one of the well, I talked about it on the last chat, but I bumped into one of the people talking into their cell phone again. You know, the yelling where they're yelling at somebody on the phone on speakerphone. And I was standing there for a little while because I had to. And then they were yelling and doing all this other stuff, and I was just like, you know what? And I just was like, can you go somewhere else and do that? You know, this is a place of business. Not everybody wants to hear your conversation. You know, looked at me like I had a third eye. Oh, Armsman can do it on his phone. I got you. Cool. Thank you. Get him, Ranger. Get him, get him. But anybody else excited about anything? I'm not really seeing anything other than the CZ. I will say this. I sent something off yesterday, so it's going to get done. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's officially been sent. So it's gone. They should get it tomorrow between 10 and 3 before the holiday. We're going to have a powwow on it, another powwow to lock everything down, but I'm kind of excited about this one. And if you guess which one it is, I'm not gonna say you're right or wrong, but I am getting another one done. So, and this is gonna be something different. So, anyway, we're gonna see how it comes out. Yeah, I saw that, DJ. Ruger bought Anderson and shut them down, and I'm like, what the hell did they buy him for? You know, because I'm just like, they had everything that they already had, so I don't really know what they were going after. But you know, other than maybe the Glock clones, the Anderson Glock clones, maybe. But they just came out. Ruger just came out with the RXM not too long ago, so I don't really know what they were doing. Mateo says, I've been on a revolver kick for the last 4 years. The Anaconda and 45 Colt has been welcome. Colt has been, yeah, that's awesome. What's up, Harry? How are you doing? Oh, well, that could be true. He said, you know, they were using Anderson as an OEM. That could be cool. What's going to happen with BCM now? What happened to BCM? Ruger making the RXM? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they are. Oh, Ruger ARs were, likely mostly Anderson parts, yeah. Oh, Anderson Kiger. That's kind of what I was thinking. You know, maybe I don't know why they would want it, but whatever. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about BCM. I mean, I've heard all kinds of stuff, but nothing about BCM. You know, I personally haven't had any problems with it, but I know some people said that they had or have been hearing of current problems, so I don't know. All right, 1181 US Vet says, hello, Gun Nation. I'm back. I had prostate surgery on May 6th. Since then, I had a rough recovery, 4 ER visits, and 2 hospital visits. I'm a lot better now. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. I will definitely be praying for you, brother. That is awesome. Anderson provided BCM with parts. Oh, okay. Did not know that. Wow. Okay. Did not know that. Yeah, prostate surgery is pretty rough. I had a customer of mine, or a friend, but he's a customer too, that went through that not too long ago, and he came out well. Yeah, just because parts are made in the same plant doesn't mean specs are the same, but also doesn't mean they aren't. Yeah. Yeah, hang in there, Navy. We will all be pulling for you, brother. Yeah, Ruger bought Anderson. Everybody, why don't we give U.S. Navy vet a round of applause, man. We all got to be on his side. That's a rough thing, man. We want you to press forward, brother. That's all we can do. PSA will pick up Anderson's slack. They could. They could. And I'm not saying PSA is bad, but I don't know, man. I don't know if I would. I mean, I've got some Anderson, or excuse me, some PSA stuff. I've got some Anderson stuff. And I've had, some Anderson stuff that wasn't perfect. It wasn't in perfect specs, but it worked. And it's, all that. But who knows? Hello, Steve L. Man, long time no see. I hope you're doing well. Mateo says, interesting. Wonder what will do them for being in Kentucky. Who knows? Is that Dimitri? Hello. But yeah, I'm hoping that CZ is going to be dropping some more stuff. Not just that ported P10C. Not saying that's a bad thing because that's what's hot right now. But I'm hoping they'll start kicking out some more stuff. Steve L says, how did your recovery go, Big J? I mean, it's still pushing on. I've got PT in the morning, so I'm looking forward to that. But so far, so good. I'm using less and less of my cane. Try to walk on two legs, kind of hold my cane off the ground, and just periodically do like the pimp cane routine where you just kind of slap it on the ground a little bit. But, we're pressing on. Yeah, US Vet says, I don't want to ever see a catheter again. Yeah. I've had the experience with those too. They're not fun. Especially when they pull them out. Woo! Not fun. They grab it and... Hello, Yukon. How are you, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Rabbi says, I woke up in a hospital once and in a blind fury, I attempted to tear out my catheter. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's not good. Not good. No, they don't feel good, that's for sure. That's what's crazy, man. When they, and I was awake I've had catheters put in, but I was awake when they did that vein, to remove the blood clots in the top of the thigh. And they put that needle that wire through the back of my knee all the way up into my thigh, and it went into my groin. Dude, I was awake for that. During that whole surgery, I was awake. It was like a twilight thing, I guess. That was the weirdest feeling I've ever felt. I could feel that thing going through my veins. It was freaky as shit. I was like, holy crap, this is weird. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And he goes, oh, you can feel it? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, that's the way it is. And I'm like, man, that's freaking weird. I'm like, do not do that. That is nasty. Hello, Derek. You said life has been busy for me. Happy to be back and listening. Good to see and hear you guys. Hope recovery is going well. Yeah, I'm plugging along. We got to keep praying for Navy vet and some other people. My mom is going to be having surgery coming up. What is it, on like the 18th or something, 17th? They found breast cancer, but it's a small spot, so y'all definitely be praying. Like I said, man, we just all want to throw some prayers out for people that are going through weird stuff, but it's very positive, so hoping everything's going to be fine, and things in y'all's life, I'm hoping it's going to be good too. Steve says, I was surprised CZ did a factory port, but disappointed they didn't change the grip texture. Yeah, I like the grip texture. I like it. I like it being. I have two of the Gen 1s and one of the Gen 3s. It's good, but it's not as good. But it is what it is. Yeah, Rabbi, it's like I said, we're pressing on. I just found out about it. So, matter of fact, 2 nights ago. So, and my mom's very positive about it. So they're saying everything's going to be good. So that's what we're hoping for. But anybody have any new guns they're interested in, or anything exciting that they've seen that they're like, I gotta get that? I have seen the prices on the Koa setups for the Glock decreasing, going on sale and things like that. So, I don't know if anybody's interested in one of those. Lynn Holt said I had several MRIs at one point. The stuff they used, when they turned it on, I could taste it in my mouth. Yep, steel taste. Yep, I tasted that when they did my knee. I was like, yeah. But yeah, it's not good. It's just weird how you can taste that stuff. And they were asking me, like, I said, man, I taste that. And they're like, do you have any metal fillings and blah blah. I was like, no. And they're like, yeah, that's weird. So I guess everybody feels it differently. Mateo says, wouldn't mind a COA on a G45. Yeah, if I was going to buy a Glock, that's the one I would get. I would get the G45 with the Koa. I mean, I think it's kind of cool. I like the setup of that. If I were going to buy another Glock, I would probably get that one. Norwood says, I like the optic cut. None of my CZ-P10s have optic cuts. Yeah, and see, that's what's weird. The only P10 is my P10F, and it's a plate. My two original P10Cs, I had them all milled, so there's no plate. But, I think it's cool that, and on this new one, you still have to use a plate, supposedly, or their, comped one. Harry says, I got to shoot a Staccato C side by side with a CS. I like the C a lot better, but concerned they'll bring everything over to the Glock mags, but the HD flopped, so not sure. Yeah, I've shot the CS and I've held the C, but I haven't shot the C yet. But I wasn't super impressed. I did a video where it was the C versus the C2, and the CS versus the C2. And I mean, I'm not saying the CS was bad, but I was like, it needs a bigger barrel, longer muzzle to me. But I really like the C2 just because it's a bigger grip. But I'm sure the C would be fine in the longer grip for me. Harry says, I want a Koa 19, but it's redundant. We only have 19 Glock 19s. So, one more is not going to hurt you. Optic cut slides are pretty cheap on their site. Yeah, and I mean, even Impact Machine, great optic cuts, and they're not that expensive. So you could send your P10 off to them and stuff like that. So, and you can use my code BJGG10, all capitalized, and they'll save you 10% off if you want any milling or anything on their site, optic plates, whatever you want. Lynn Holt says, I just got 2 back from Nighthawk. Got iOS cuts on a couple. That's awesome, man. Nighthawk make awesome guns. Derek says, I got a new Kimber K6S or XS 6-shot 38 special snubby. Light as a feather and closed hammer. Great shooter. Backup gun. That's cool, man. Trigger bar saying thumbs up. Yeah, we got 27 people in the chat, 19 thumbs up, so we're close. Yeah, I know. I need to get pissed off about something. Apparently, a lot of people liked it when I got pissed off the other day, but Glock 45 Koa with a ramjet. Yep, that's exactly how I would set it up if I got the 45 Koa. Definitely get the ramjet on there. Let me catch back up here. Glock 21, it is a 40 cal, isn't it? I thought it was. Oh, 45. Okay, well, I'm wrong. Lynn Holt says, can't remember on your 97B what optic cut did you choose at Impact Machine. I got the HoloSun EPS carry but it's the same as the Holosun carry, the EPS full size or the carry. But I did put the carry on it because he got it so damn deep, and it's got lugs in it and everything. If I took the dot off, you would see the lugs that come up. So they're locked. I mean, the lugs are literally locked inside, and then the screw is on the top. So it actually has to snap in there. It's actually on a post. There's two posts that stick up that were milled, and then the screw goes in the top to hold the Optic down on those posts. But those posts are huge. So I mean, Scott did a hell of a job on that thing. I mean, that is probably one of the best cuts I've ever seen. To where it's like the Zev. If you've seen the Zev, it's got those two huge lugs that stick up where you put the screw inside the lugs. But yeah, I do definitely want to shoot the 97B some more. I want to shoot my Tanfo some more. Um, but with these grips, dial in, make sure my PDW is still dialed in. I know my 300 blackout for the home. Once I put the grip on it, it's not going to change that. Of course, none of these are, but I just want to shoot them again because it's been a while since I've shot them. So I do want to get out and shoot those. Do they supply their screws? Yes, they do. Yep, you get it milled. They give you the correct screws that they've made for it, that they've drilled for it, and for the Optic. And what I would even recommend, and I've done that many times, if you don't have the Optic, they sell the optics there. So that way they can take your Optic that you've bought from them and they can match it up on there. I just sent in another item. Well, I shouldn't have said that, but anyway, I sent the Optic with it, so that way it'll be perfect. Take care, Rabbi. I appreciate you, buddy. And yes, have a good 4th of July. I hope everyone out there has a good 4th of July. So we got 28 thumbs up or 28 people in here and 24 thumbs up. That's awesome. Yep, stay safe and smart. That's what we all got to do. Damn, that whiskey went too quick. Now we get a little hydration going. Oh, also, and I talked about this before, but I've got some old guns that people have never seen on the channel. And some of them are rifles, some of them are pistols. Do y'all want to see those? Do you want me to do videos on some of the ones y'all have never seen before or never been on the channel before? Would y'all be interested in that? Like I said, some of them are rifles, some of them are pistols. I've never ever shown them. Would y'all be interested in something like that? Let me know if you would. Some of them might be kind of like, oh man, that's cool. I didn't know you had that one. Or some of them might be like, that one's not that cool. Trigger Burst said, yes, please. Older guns. Yeah, they're definitely older. Darren says, absolutely. Yeah, some of these guns that I have are older than me, way older than me. Matter of fact, I've got, I can't, I was going to grab one of them. I've got some guns that are over 100 years old. Craig says, do I like the classic and antiques? Armsman said, I'd like to see your comparison of all the latest 2011s. Well, I don't have all the latest ones. I just have the ones that I have. I don't have the ones that I don't own. I've only got 4 2011s. But I could go through them. I could do a 2011 11s and maybe which ones I like best, which ones I like least. Could probably do that if somebody'd like to see it, or if y'all would like to see it. A Barn says yes. US Vet says yes. Steve L says love to see some oldies. Well, I got some oldies. I have like old guns. There's some that I will not ever show. I'm just going to be honest with you, but I've got some I think that are very interesting. Some I can't fit on camera. Well, I know one that I cannot fit on a camera no matter what I do. It's way too big. Lynn Holt says yes. Yeah, well, we can probably do that. Yeah, some of them won't fit on this table, but I am going to be doing some tailgate reviews because there are some bags that I want to show. Lynx Defense bags. So I'm going to be doing some tailgate reviews. So we'll have the camera back a little farther, and then I'll bring the camera in after y'all have seen the big picture. I'll do some zoom ins and stuff like that so y'all can see it up close. And I won't show some of the markings on a couple of the guns because those aren't acceptable anymore. You can't talk about those. But anyway, you know, we'll work around it. Put it that way. YouTube already hates me anyway. Oh, I do have a video that I have not released yet. And I sent it in, you know, they instantly demonetized it. I set it up for a manual review because there's nothing wrong with the video. I even had Trigger Bar look at it because he goes, send me that video. Let me check it out, see if I see or hear anything you did wrong. I sent it to him. He's like, you didn't do anything wrong. But they manually reviewed it and still demonetized it. So I'll be releasing that video probably tomorrow night. I'm just going to release it. It is demonetized. YouTube's not approving of it, so it probably won't get a single view. But I like it, so that's all that matters. I think it's kind of cool. But it's something to think about. But yeah, what I'll do is I'll probably pull some gun, you know, like I said, I was going to do the back of the safe videos and I'm still planning on it, but I even have more that I probably will show. Steve L says most recent build is the Fed's P365 fuse slide ported with a Mischief Machine aluminum lower full length dust cover. Really defeats the P60 or 365 purpose, but I love it as a different option. That's all that matters, Steve. If you like it, that's all that matters. Should be titled the video YouTube didn't. Well, that I just kind of look at that as clickbait, but yeah. Armsman says you need to start a Patreon, Cash App, people so people can fund pew views for you and shill some brands out like everyone else. And I don't feel good about that. You know, I don't know. I just feel dirty. I don't sleep on my wallet, y'all know that, but I don't know. I feel bad about that. Joanne77 says hi, hello. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel dirty about like asking people for money and stuff. I mean, if y'all want to donate, that's cool. We'll put it to the whiskey fund or something like that. But I'm not going to be like, hey, pay me. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't feel good about that. I look at it as if people want to give, they can give. If they don't, that's cool too. I don't push for that. I know some channels do, but I don't. I don't feel good about it. He says, do you like whiskey and cola? There are occasions where I will drink whiskey and Diet Coke or Coke Zero or something like that. But yeah, dominantly I'm kind of like a neat, or every once in a while I'll put whiskey on ice, whiskey on the rocks, but I don't really mix a lot of whiskey. Now I'll have an old fashioned. I do like a good old fashioned. Thank you, Mateo. I appreciate you, buddy. Have a good Independence Day. Shoot them straight. Shoot all them bottle rockets straight so you don't blow your hand off. We want you to have all your fingers. That's what she said. But it is 7:54. We will shut this down at 8 o'clock. Armsman says, I know you don't. You're one of a very few. I was kidding, of course. Yeah, no, I get it, Armsman. Yeah, and like I said, there's nothing wrong if people, like I said, you know, people that want to, you know, say, hey, I've got Patreon or I've got PayPal or I've got this or I've got that. I mean, if that's what they want to say on their channels, that's cool. I mean, I'm not beating them up over it. Unless somebody just does a video where they're like, pay me, you know, and then, hey, they're done with the video. I just think that's kind of shitty. So, thanks, Bad Karma. I appreciate you. But yeah, if y'all have any questions or comments after the chat, please leave them. I'll definitely get back with you if it's something that you want an answer on. But I will be putting those grips on this weekend, which maybe Friday, 4th of July, or Saturday or something. I'll start sticking some stuff on there. And Colton, that's not nice. That's not nice at all. Armsman says, any opinion on GunCon? Well, from what I know, I think there should have been more research probably done on that facility and who owned it prior to having that event there, for getting some people kicked off or kicked out of there. And I understand you can plan for everything and stuff still happens, but, it might have been some kind of a budget thing. I don't really know. Um, but man, I thought that was crappy that some of those guys got booted out of there. I don't think that's right. But then again, you know, there's anti-gun people that own buildings and own corporations and can do what they want at the end of the day. I just think that sucked. But yeah, I mean, I didn't go. I probably wouldn't go. I'll just say it. I'm not the hugest fan of TGC. It's just not my gig. Um, I'll throw it out there. I think a lot of those reviews are paid, and I don't agree with that, but that's my opinion. Again, I'm not beating him up. I just, I can just tell people are, it seems like pay to play, and I'm not about that. So I don't watch that channel. I hadn't watched it in a long time. Unless somebody sends me a link and says, oh my gosh, you got to watch this. Derek says, my CR 920 XP let me down this weekend for the first time. Put an EPS carry on it. Now it locks back every shot and doesn't feed. Shadow Systems wants me to send it in. Worked perfectly for the first 400 rounds. That's weird. And you use their screws? That's very weird. But it's almost like when you put the screw in there, I'm wondering if it's like hitting, I know they've got a shortened extractor and stuff like that, but I'm wondering if something's in that channel maybe. That's weird. I haven't had any problems with mine, knock on wood. Matter of fact, that's what I've been carrying this week. So, and haven't had, it's been working so far, so good. Trigger Bar says, I almost went, closest I've been to one, and local guy and I were going to go, but I had other plans. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, and that's what I was saying, Trigger Bar. But when they send those, they send you certain screws that they make to go in their slide for the optic. So if you have this optic, it says use these screws. And they have a long one and a short one. So they're giving you the screws to use for a particular optics. Unless it was some weird optic where they didn't provide the screws and you use your own. But if you're using their screws, I don't know. Derek, I would take the dot off and test it, because if it's not a dot that's listed on their chart, something might be happening with those particular screws. Could be, I don't know. But that's what I would do first. I would just take the dot off, and then if everything works, something with the screws or with their dot or with the dot maybe. But yeah, I was going to say, I haven't had any problems, but I had a recognized optic that they had listed, and for that optic, it said, use this screw. So that's what I did. I know there's some weird Chinesium dots and stuff like that they don't have listed on their site. So what you could do is call customer service and say, hey, I have this particular dot. What screw should I use? And they'll be like, oh, use number 1 or number 2 or whatever. And that might fix it. I don't know. But I would tend to, oh, it's an EPS carry. Yeah, there's particular screws. They have a short and a long. I can't remember which ones to use, but it says it in their owner's manual. And then you torque it. I think their torque is like 10 or 12 inch-pounds. And yeah, Trigger Bar's right. If they're requesting it back, I would send it back and just have them look at it. Oh, he's ruined a strike assembly that way. Yeah, PSA rock. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to just go ahead and send it in to them. And I would check with them. A lot of them want the optics stripped off and all that other stuff. But you might ask them, hey, it's an EPS carry. What do you want me to do? Take it off or on? Yeah, and I've got the EPS carry on mine and no issues. I mean, it's right there. Like I said, I've been carrying it all week, and I've shot it quite a bit. It's got 14 or 1500 rounds through it right now, with just the only one round, and that was the very first round through it. But other than that, it's worked great. But anything can happen. Who knows? So, and then also, I have seen where people put a little bit too much Loctite on the threads. Like they kind of, you don't have to put a lot. I mean, I'm talking a drop. But I've seen it where people really put a line of it and they'll screw it in there, and then the Loctite drips down in there and then gums shit up. So I'm wondering if that's what it is. Did you use a lot of Loctite on it? Do you remember? Because Loctite definitely could have dripped in there. Because I could see them pulling it apart and being Loctite all in there. US Navy said I put an EPS carry on Mechanic SFT Pro yesterday. First red dot ever. Awesome. Haven't been to the range with it yet. That's awesome, man. But the cool thing is, US Vet, you can actually train even at home with dry fire, of course, no live ammo. And you can, kind of practice with your dot. You can get a lot of reps in with dry firing. Put Loctite on screws the day before to dry, but did you use a lot? I've done that too. I've pre-Loctited them, let them dry, but it's just a drop. But if you put a whole bunch, all that stuff could flake off and fall in there. Just wondering. I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I don't know. Oh man, you deleted him. Damn, that could, I'm probably his dad. He didn't even know it. He said I look like somebody, and then it went away. But yeah, I could be his dad. But anyway, it is 8:02, so we will shut this down. If y'all have anything that you want, any prayers we need to talk about or anything like that, throw it up in the chat even afterwards. And I will be honest with you, man, I pray every night. I do. That's just what I do. So, praying for my family, friends, grandbaby, everyone. And I actually, believe it or not, I pray for YouTube friends and family. So I do. I'm not the perfect religious person, but I do. So, y'all want anything special thrown up, please do. We're an open channel. We like to help people. We like to push people forward and motivate people, and that's what we want to do. So hopefully y'all will have a safe and prosperous Independence Day. Not just 4th of July, an Independence Day. But, if y'all need anything, let us know, and we will do this again next Wednesday. But I appreciate y'all so much. Remember, an unarmed nation's a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Y'all take care.